Men, today, we want to get real practical. Hopefully, after the past two sessions, you are thinking about how you can apply our biblical blueprint to your work. Last session, we introduced you to two men from Scripture who embody our work vision, Nehemiah and Paul. Now, we want to give you some foundational principles that will empower you to live out our blueprint. These practices will assist you in being intentional in your work. We call these 10 principles the 10 essentials. We believe that when a man embraces these essentials, it will provide him with more opportunities, broader influence, and greater success in the workplace. They'll make you an asset to your company. But more importantly, you'll begin to live out God's ultimate vision for your work. Let's get started. First, as authentic men, our primary motivation for excelling in our work comes from the gospel. Not money, not success, not because we want to win friends and influence people. Now, of course, all of those are good things that we should pursue, but our primary motivation should come from what Jesus has done for us and how he has transformed us and given us a new mindset. It is the gospel that empowers us to live for him and be difference makers in the world. It is the gospel that inspires us so that we can create and cultivate and be a life-giving presence. This is why the Apostle Paul in Romans 12 verses 1 and 2, after telling the Roman Christians what God has done for them in the gospel, he makes this amazing conclusion. So brothers and sisters, since God has shown us great mercy, and guys, by great mercy, Paul means the gospel. I beg you to offer your lives as a living sacrifice to him. Do not be shaped by this world. Instead, be changed within by a new way of thinking. You see, the gospel changes everything. When you believe in Jesus Christ and follow him with your life, it changes how you view people, relationships, time, and money. And it changes how you view your work. No longer is your work a way to gain status or prestige. No longer is your employment just a way to stockpile wealth or buy more stuff or justify your existence. Now you can view your work as a way of worshiping and serving God, as a way of honoring him. If you miss everything else in this session, don't miss the importance of the gospel in your work. It's our most important point because all of the other essentials flow out of this one. Here's essential number 2. Do your best and over-deliver in your work. You see, the prevailing mentality for many men is to do just good enough on the job. Just get by. Do as little as possible without getting noticed. Never do more than the client or the boss asks. Never go above and beyond. Just get the job to tolerable so you can clock out and go home. And rather than pursuing excellence, many men stay in the middle of the pack and they settle for good enough. But men, Colossians 3 and 23 tells us to put on our game face and give our best in our work. Here's what it says. In all the work you are doing, work the best you can. Work as if you are doing it for the Lord, not for people. You are serving the Lord Christ. Guys, seeing your work primarily as service to the Lord, rather than primarily as service to your boss, your company, or your customers, is another game changer. It unleashes you to bring a mindset of excellence to your work. And guys, this is a chosen mindset. It does not matter what those around you are doing because you are serving the Lord. And since it's for him, your work ought to be recognized as unusually good, exceeding expectations, and simply outstanding. You can beat deadlines, finish a job under budget, stay an extra hour to make sure a job is done right, or provide extra attention to a customer or client. No matter what you do, you can do your best and go the extra mile. Like Martin Luther King Jr. once said, if a man is called to be a street sweeper, he should sweep streets like Michelangelo painted, or Beethoven composed music, or Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will pause to say, here lived a great street sweeper who did his job well. The third and related essential, become a master in your craft. Guys, this is about discovering your strengths and talents and making a commitment to develop them. It's about becoming great at something, becoming an expert over time. We believe, like Psalm 139 says, that every man is fearfully and wonderfully made and handcrafted by God in the womb of his mother. God authored every man's life and gifted each of us with unique skills, talents, and strengths. Self-awareness is the art of learning what those skills are and then working hard to both own them and develop them. Authentic men are self-aware men. Men who either know or are discovering their strengths and weaknesses. We'll talk some more about the importance of self-awareness in session 6. Once you identify your strengths and skills, it's important to nurture and develop them. Find someone who's been doing what you want to do and ask them to mentor you. Read and study your field of expertise and practice so you can get better at what it is you get paid to do. Proverbs 22:29 says this, do you see a man skillful in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before obscure men. The point of this proverb is that those who become exceptionally skillful in what they do will be sought out for their expertise and will have a great influence. So whether you're a photographer, a dentist, a home builder, or a tax attorney, become an expert, someone who's known for the quality of their work. It will most likely expand your platform of influence. Here's our fourth essential. Work well with others. In order to truly win in your work, you gotta be a team player and be committed to seeing others around you win. Those who work under you, those who work beside you, and those who work over you. You see, an authentic man values we over me. With his coworkers and employees, he has a heart of a servant leader. They feel valued by him as a person. They feel encouraged by him. They look forward to his presence rather than his absence. He takes a personal interest in them, and he's intentional to help coworkers and employees excel. His employees are more than just dollar signs or skill sets to him. They are people made in the image of God, and he desires that everyone reach their full potential and excel, even at times at his own expense or even when he needs to speak hard truths to an employee. And he's not threatened by the successes or talents of others. In fact, he recognizes the accomplishments of his coworkers and employees, both privately and publicly. An authentic man also works well with his boss or bosses. He's responsive to leadership. He executes their plans. He earns their trust. Listen to how Proverbs 25 and verse 13 puts it. Trustworthy messengers refresh like snow in summer. They revive the spirit of their employer. Guys, when you are a trustworthy employee, you breathe life into your boss and the organization. Here's essential practice number 5. Don't be surprised by resistance. Push through, work hard, and trust God. An authentic man views his work biblically and realistically. And this includes the fact that work, even at its best, is flawed and marked by brokenness. Way back in Genesis chapter 3, when man sinned for the very first time, everything became broken, including work. And now resistance is a reality in our world. There seem to be forces working against us to frustrate our efforts to create and work hard. Jesus himself told us that this would be the case. We see in John 16:33, in some of his final words to his disciples, Jesus said this, "In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world." It's important for authentic men to prepare for the daily war of work. There will be challenges and obstacles. There will be days, projects, and opportunities that do not come easy and require guts, willpower, courage, strength, and a lot of faith. You'll have to work in some circumstances that are less than ideal. Authentic men anticipate this resistance and put on their warrior face. They man up and press through the tough times, tough assignments, and tough seasons. Authentic men are willing to play hurt. They're willing to play it where it lies. They're willing to fight even when they're scared. As we're living out our blueprint for work, we must remember that it will always involve pushing through and overcoming resistance along the way. Our sixth essential is this: bring integrity to the workplace. This may be a common mantra or easy to say, but it isn't always easy to do. Integrity is the foundation on which everything rests for authentic men. Integrity is a cord of many strings and includes things like honesty with time and money, avoiding white lies, hard work, respect toward others, and faithfulness. Oftentimes, it means just doing the little things well, whether it's an expense report, how you interact with female coworkers, what you do with company money, or a promise to a customer. There are multiple opportunities daily to add to your reputation of integrity or to destroy it. Will Rogers once said that it takes a lifetime to build a reputation, but you can lose it in a minute. And that is especially true when it comes to men at work. A cut corner, a lie, something funny with the money, or an inappropriate comment can crush a man's professional reputation in a moment. On your job, you need to set the pace for integrity in the workplace. You be the man who respects company hours, who doesn't lie on his resume or abuse company policy, who doesn't exaggerate or manipulate in order to close a deal. Proverbs 10 and verse 9 says that whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but he who makes his ways crooked will be found out. Guys, if you lack integrity in the workplace, you'll either get exposed or live in constant fear of exposure. But if you know that you've worked with integrity and haven't compromised, it has a way of giving confidence to a man. The peace and security that come from walking with integrity is life-giving to his soul and is essential to living out God's vision for our work. Just the other day, I had a chance to sit down and share the importance of integrity in the workplace.
Integrity is one of those things that's so important to who we are. I remember as a young man growing up, my dad would always speak to me about keeping my word, honoring my commitment. And then when I got in the workplace, I began to realize it's so essential for you to always speak the truth, tell the truth, honor your word. The challenge with integrity is that every day in the workplace, a man is tested with his integrity. Whether it's in a meeting trying to fudge the reports so that they match what he desires it to be, whether it's spinning his presentation to a client. I mean, every single day that a man goes to work, he faces the challenge of being a man of integrity. For most men, it's easy for us to kind of segment our lives. Be one person at home, be another person at work. But integrity means I'm the same person. My values, my honesty, my character, they're the same regardless of the situation, regardless of the outcomes, even when it affects me negatively. I remember an occasion when I started a job and my boss asked me, did I make this phone call to another employee to make sure they were at this meeting? When he asked me, I was under pressure. I lied and said yes. My boss looked at me in my eyes and said, listen, don't you cause me to question your integrity. I felt so small because I had got caught in a lie with my boss. And it was that moment that kind of helped me to understand how crucial my integrity was. Because when I don't have integrity, I don't have anything else. And as a boss, as a supervisor now with people working for me, I realize and recognize that I need people around me I can trust. One of the things I'm constantly faced with is not only hiring individuals, but also assessing their value and their performance. And so many times when we do that, a lot of men, we put a whole lot of emphasis into the performance. Can I get it done? What's my ability? What's my intelligence? What kind of degrees do I have? But more important than your degrees, more important than your experience is your integrity. I would choose a man that didn't have as many skills, didn't have as many abilities that I could trust, rather than the one who had all the skills, all the abilities, but no integrity. Integrity is the number one factor determining one's success when it comes to the workplace. If you don't have integrity, you don't have anything else, because nothing else matters outside of that.
Here's another essential that will help you live our blueprint. Remember that healthy ambition can be a good thing. Ambition is a tricky issue. It creates a tension in a man's heart that must be balanced. You see, when it comes to ambition, every man's heart can be tempted toward a deep, dark pride and narcissism. This is an ambition that is the striving for things like fame, wealth, or approval. It is a deep worship of self and the desire to promote self. Narcissus, from whom we get the word narcissism, was a character from Greek mythology who caught a reflection of himself in a pool of water. He was overwhelmed by his own beauty and magnificence and could not stop staring at himself. He was in awe of himself. Unhealthy ambition is driven by a similar kind of self-worship, always seeing the world as your stage and yourself as the hero. Now, there's also another extreme to avoid when it comes to ambition, and that's killing ambition and resting in mediocrity. Guys will often do this for two reasons. Either they're passive and afraid to take risks, or they have an unhealthy view of ambition, mistakenly believing that any ambition is a bad thing. But men, a godly, redeemed ambition should be our goal. As authentic men, we should desire to do great rather than average things for the glory of God. Like being a great rather than an average servant leader. A great rather than an average single man. We should strive to be a great worker, a great husband, or a great father. Redeemed ambition seeks greatness in life, not as an end, but as a means to an end to ultimately reflect God and bring glory to Him. Just like the moon has no source of light and is simply a reflection of the sun, our lives and the great things about our lives should simply magnify God and point others to Him. So dream big, work hard, and be great, and do it all for the glory of God. As Paul said in 1 Corinthians 9, whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God. Here's number 8. Go find the information you need to excel in the workplace. It's important for authentic men to own the responsibility to go get what they need to excel at work. They must own the reality that they are responsible for their own professional growth and development. Too many men default into thinking that someone else, a boss or a company, should be growing and developing them. Some of that may happen in a healthy workplace, but authentic men do not simply wait, hope, and react to development opportunities. Authentic men go get the help they need to grow in their work. They find the conferences, read the books, do the research, find the mentors, and find the coaches that will help them grow in their occupation. Listen to me. Men, you can't afford to sit around and count on someone else to do that for you. You're the CEO of your own professional development. Go get the information you need. Authentic men are learners and hunger for growth in every area of their life, including their work life. Here's our ninth essential. If possible, pursue a job that you can enjoy, are good at, and that will adequately provide. It's often important to be reminded as a man that there are more jobs out there than the one I have. If I don't like what I'm doing, I can go get another job or enter into another field. As simple as that sounds, most of us as men need to hear it. Sometimes men get stuck and simply need permission to find a new job. You have permission. Feel free to explore what else is out there. Just last session, we saw Nehemiah make a job change that freed him to an entirely new vision for his work life. If at the end of most days and most weeks, there is not joy in your work, you probably need to begin praying about and taking some action steps to find something else to do. Find something else that's more meaningful to you or better utilizes your skill set. It takes courage to pursue change and transition. But too many men spend way too much of their lives investing time in a career that does not fulfill them, in a job that does not play to their strengths, is not enjoyable, or does not pay enough money to provide for their families. The best combination is a job you enjoy, are good at, and can make enough money doing. You may not find that right away. And there may be seasons when you have to take a job that is not very enjoyable or that just puts food on the table. But authentic men look for the right job fit. They're willing to make courageous adjustments. Here's our final essential: rest and celebrate. It is crucial for authentic men to develop a rhythm of hard work on the one hand and rest and celebration on the other. In fact, that's how we were designed to live. Listen to how one productivity expert put it. Human beings are not designed to run like computers at high speeds continuously for long periods of time. When we try to mimic the machines we're meant to run, they end up running us. In fact, we're designed to pulse. Our most basic survival need is to spend and renew energy. We're hardwired to make waves, to be alert during the day and to sleep at night, but also to work at high intensity for limited periods of time and then rest and refuel. Instead, most of us lead increasingly linear lives, forever spending down our energy without fully or effectively renewing it. Men, God himself set the example and modeled rest for us in the creation story found in Genesis 1 and 2. After 6 days of work, he rested on the seventh day. In the New Testament, we also see Jesus getting away from his work and the crowds to rest and be alone. We also saw in the last session how Nehemiah took some time to rest and celebrate. Now, of course, some men struggle with laziness and not working hard enough. Other men struggle to turn work off and rest. An authentic man works hard, but knows when to turn work off. He knows when to prioritize family time, rest time, and playtime. He balances the tension between work and rest. Days off, weekends, and vacations matter. They help us endure and thrive for the marathon of a lifelong career. A healthy pace is also the wisest path to productivity. God has designed us to flourish and excel in life. Regular rhythms of work and rest encourage this. Well, guys, in this talk, we've given you 10 essentials that will help you to live out our biblical blueprint. 10 ways authentic men go to work. Authentic men are motivated by the gospel. They give their best. They master their craft. They work well with others and push through resistance. Authentic men bring integrity to the workplace. They have healthy ambition. They go get the information they need. They pursue a good job fit, and they rest and celebrate.
Please remember to invite a friend or a family member to join our next episode. Contact us for more information as well as the details on becoming a partner of this program. God bless you.